Morning everyone, happy Monday. Today I'm going to be fitting some skirting. I'll show you how I'm going to scribe it to the floor and fit it. I've got a few angles to do and I've got a windowsill to fit as well. I'll show you how I'm going to do the windowsill first, but what I'll do is I'll show you what I'm going to be skirting it. So here is the window we fitted last week, the door to window conversion. I'll leave a link to that video here somewhere. So I've got a wee alcove bit here. I've got a wee windy sill, but I'm going to have to take a wee notch at the back of it to go over this windowsill. But that's no problem. I'll show you how I'll do that, and I'll show you how I'll get the size of the window and fit it and the angles. And then we've got some skirting along here to do. Some of the skirting I made the other day. There's wires there, so I'm going to have to do a funky bit of jiggery pokery there. But that's basically it. I'll show you how to fit the skirting to the floor and how to do your angles and stuff. Okay. So this is the oak sill I made on Saturday. Let it dry over the weekend. Just offcuts of oak. It's maybe an inch thick, 25mm thick, maybe slightly thicker. But here's the piece I need to be cutting out for the windowsill, the concrete sill on the window. So I've set the saw up to the right size. It needs to be 14mm to this line, and I want to keep 10mm on the top. So I'll cut that out. I've set the saw up for it, so I'll cut that out and get back. She's going to get loud, so earplugs on, safety first and all that. So that's the first pass done with the saw. Now we need to flip the board up and take out the next cut. The way it's set up, I shouldn't need to change the saw blade. Yeah, that's how it cut out, perfect. What I need to do now is cut the sill to width, which is going to be about 180mm. So it's 7 inches, 8 inches maybe. Right, so I'll cut a straight edge down here and then cut it to the right width. Right, I've set the saw up to cut the sill at 160mm, which is about 6 1/4 inches. To you Northern Americans. Now I'll just nip that and she should be good. Now, just a wee sand down and she'll be ready to rock. Perfect. Alright, that's the sill ready to rock. So, first off, what I need to do is measure the width of the window. What I'm going to do is measure right into the internal corner. And it is, we have 945mm, so 945. All I need to do is transfer that size onto my sill. 945. Get it centered onto your stick, onto your sill. 945. So that's centered there. I know that because I've pre-marked it. Okay, now I need a bevel. Here, this is a sliding bevel. It just slides, you can tighten it, set the angle. Because we don't actually know what the angle is. So we'll start this side and get it set on your window. Now that's the angle set there. Tighten it up, just transfer it onto your sill. Now, when you're working with like expensive wood, measure 20 times if you want, but only cut it once. Because if you screw something like this up, yeah, it's not going to be a cheap. That's actually the exact same angle. Huh. Sometimes I amaze myself. Now transfer that line on there. Now I'll go outside, cut that, come back in, and it should fit. What I'm going to have to do is park up. I'm going to have to park up this, because originally I was going to have like a 2-inch thick sill, but I didn't have the wood for that, so I just made what I could. So I'll cut that and get back. Now this should just go in, Bonnie. That is. That's perfect, I would say. I'll just take it down and show you. Now, it's pretty sweet. A nice wee gap under the window. Now I'll show you how I'm going to park it up. It's just some parkers. What I need to do is, okay, now that's fitting, Bonnie. What I'm doing is I'm just taking my mitre square and run it right to the end. So here we have 90 degrees. And all I'm going to do is, hopefully it fits in there. Well, no it doesn't. But what I can do is take off the window itself. That's actually, that's perfect, eh? Maybe slightly down a wee bit. Okay, that's fine and square off the window. Now to park it up, I'm just going to measure in here. It's 24mm, so I'll cut 4 parkers. 24mm, screw them on, screw the window down, the sill down. Righty, that's 4 parkers in. The sill's sitting on top, square off the window, and it's level. What I'll do is 4 8 screws where the parkers are. Right, here's my 10mm holes I've drilled in the right place. When you're drilling them, sometimes, I've done it a lot, is where the screws go, it hits the screws holding the parkers, or it'll hit some other weird object. So 10mm hole and then a 5mm pilot hole. Drill the big hole first, because if you drill the small one first and then your 10mm, you'll end up with a weird shaped hole, and it just will not look right. So the 10mm holes are for these. These are they're cores, I think they're called. And what you do is you cut them with this coring bit. That's 10mm coring bit. You get different sizes. You get 13mm, 8mm, the different size screws. Now what I'll show you how to get them out. Okay, so these core pieces, all you need is a wee screwdriver or a chisel, and just put it in the side and out they come. They're really easy. When you're putting your dowels in, or your cores, or whatever you want to call them, all you need to do is a little bit of glue. 2 ways to do it. A little bit of glue, just smear it in, and then pop your plug in. Right, that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is just put the plug in itself. Put the plug into the glue and put it in the hole there. Now if you get glue like this, get a damp cloth and just give it a quick wipe. Just like that. Perfect. Job done. So just one more piece to do for this sill and that'll be it done. Now what I need to put is like what we call it in Scotland is an apron piece that sits under. Obviously that's far too thick, but it's just a piece of wood, sits under, covers the joint or the gap. So I'll measure that. Now what I need is about 45mm would be good. 45 by, so I've got 20mm to the wall, so I'll cut it. I'll just cut a wee thin one, 8mm. That's all I'm going to need there, so that'll be good. I'll cut that, come back, and we'll fit it. So here's my apron piece, 8mm thick, 45mm deep, and it just goes in under here. Remember, measure it a couple of times if you're unsure. Now, that's good. So what I'm going to do is just one nail where the parkers were for the sills. So that should go. And just like that. I'll do the other three, punch them in, get back. Okay, let's just finish it off, Bonnie. Now, all I need to do now is wait for the screw to go off, and I'll sand them flush, and I'll show you the results once that's done. Okay, now I'm waiting for the glue to dry on the sill. We will get on with this piece of skirting here. I'll show you how to scribe it to the floor and fit it. Pretty easy. So I'll go get the skirting. So I've got my piece of skirting here, and it's up against the edge. Now there's two very slight wee gaps, top and bottom, and it's too high. But that's okay because I need to scribe it to the floor. So to mark the end, you just need to mark it with a pencil and cut it to suit. Okay, so that's that joint fitted. Now, as I go along the bottom of the floor here, you can see there's a pretty big gap. So I need to scribe the board to the floor. Now, it's touching here, but it's too long anyway, so what I can do is just leave a couple inches long. So I'll cut that and then show you how I'm parking it to scribe it. Okay, so to park it up, all I need to do is put a little parker at the very end and another one at this end, and that lifts it up. These are 6mm parkers, but what I'm going to take off the bottom is 10mm, because this board is 4mm higher than this one. So from the two parkers, just get your wee 10mm scribing parker and just scribe all the way along, and that will follow the floor exactly. You don't want this parker to be a foot long, because it won't give you a true reading on your floor. So you just keep going. Now that's it scribed. So as you can see by the shape of my pencil line, it's quite a dip in the floor. Quite a hump in the floor, I mean. So I'll take it to the saw, cut that off and get it right down the line. So if you've scribed it right, it should be pretty perfect. So let's have a look at this. Well folks, I think I'll be buying that for $1. That's perfect. So once you master how to scribe your skirting to the floor, what you'll be able to do is end up with something that looks like this. Pretty good, I'd say. Okay, so now we've got our skirting scribed to the floor, the joint at the end fitting perfect. What we need to do now is mark the internal corner of the joint. So if you can see in the back, all we do is just run a line up the back edge. Now this is on an angle, so I need to find what the angle is. So I'll show you how I do that. I've got my straight edge down, parallel with the wall. Now I've got a roofing square here. It's got thousands of angles on it. Now what you want to do is get your pivot point right up to the corner where it's going to sit. Now that's spot on there. Now if we look down here, we've got an angle. So we get 75, 80, 85 degrees. So I need to make my miters 42.5 degrees for that corner to be spot on. So I'll go cut 42.5 degrees on my stick and get back. Okay, here's my two pieces of skirting, cut 42.5 degrees. And as you can see, it's going to be pretty tight. Once that's screwed and nailed up, it's going to be good. But we still have the same problem, we're 4mm high here. So I'll scribe that to the floor, exact same way as I did the first bit, and get back. Okay, that's it cut. Same height. Time I get that fitted, it's going to be bone. So I've done it like this. I've kept it up to the corner here, but it's actually too long. What I'm going to do is fit this piece first and then fit this piece for length. I left it long just in case it needed some fine tuning on the angle, but it's actually spot on. So what I can do now is get another piece of skirting and just mark it here and cut it to the exact length that I need. Now I've marked the angle, so when it's cut, the skirting, this piece will be sitting in there and this will butt up to it and it will be the exact length and it should be perfect. Cool. Okay, so with our mock-up, I've cut the angle, I've cut it to length. Now, by the time this is all screwed and glued and fitted, the joint's going to be spot on, but it's still just, see the play? It means this piece is just slightly too long. But that's okay, because when we come to actually fit this piece, I might need that couple of mil. So I'll get that back piece on now, and hopefully the rest should be just as easy. Right, what I'm doing now is marking where I need to draw my holes for my screws. Now, I have a joint of plasterboard there, so there's a joint there, a post there, another one here, there's a post there, I know there's a post at the end. Now, in Scotland, our stud centres are 600s, so I know for a fact that there is a post there as well. Right, I'll go show you how I draw them holes. Okay, I've just got a wee jig made up, so when I lay it on the top of my board, I know every single screw hole is going to be the same. So I just line it up with a hole, line the holes up with my line, get it down so it's in place, and then just drill the holes. Now folks, that's that piece screwed on. and I've actually went ahead and fitted the rest because we had a lot of noise with strimmers and grass cutters. So I've fitted all the rest of the skirting. Now, when I screwed them up, I've left the screw heads flush with the face of the skirting. I've done it through the entire house. I've done it with the nails and the facings, or architraves if you want to call them that. Just left the nails flush. I wasn't wanting to fill anything. I wasn't wanting to plug and dowel all the screws, because in a house there's hundreds of them. So I got this fitting all right. It's pretty good. Just needs a wee sand. Fitted all the way around here and here and all the way. I've got one more piece left to fit in the corner there, but that's no biggie. You might notice I haven't screwed this one up because I've used like an adhesive glue, so that will need to go off before I fit that last wee bit. Again, just a wee sand down, and I will have to sand these down. So I will do that and show you the final results. Okay, that's her all sanded up. Joints are perfect. Everything's looking good. Yeah, chuffed to bits with that. And the sill. Here's where dowel's all sanded down. Just get a wee wipe with a damp cloth, and yeah, she's come up pretty good, eh? So, if you like our video, if you get something out of it, give us a thumbs up. That'd be very, very good. And if you could subscribe if you haven't already, that'd be excellent. Much appreciated. And next video will be, I don't know, lucky dip. Okay, see you next time. Thanks. Bye bye.